This video breaks down the architecture of IELTS Listening Test 1, mapping the specific factual and analytical requirements across its 4 sections. The exam begins with concrete everyday logistics. Section 1 tracks public transit schedules and fares, while Section 2 maps university counseling services and student workshop eligibility. The second half pivots to academic environments. Section 3 requires tracking a literary analysis of a 20th century novel, and Section 4 introduces a university-level psychological lecture on time perspectives. Conquering this test requires shifting your cognitive framework in real time. You must move from capturing explicit transactional data in the early stages to comprehending abstract academic arguments by the end. In Section 1, the listener maps a transit route from Bayswater to Harbor City. The specific recommendation is to take the 792 bus at 8:55 a.m. rather than the 9:05 departure to ensure a timely transfer. This animated table compares to distinct fare structures. With a travel link card, the standard $1.80 cash bus fare drops to $1.50, and the $4.50 commuter ferry ticket is reduced to $3.55. Section 2 introduces conditional matching. Listeners must pair 3 campus counselors with specific student profiles: Naomi Flynn for new students or after-hours sessions, Louise Bagshaw for drop-ins, and Tony Denby for those managing anxiety. This matching logic continues with targeted academic workshops. The adjusting session is strictly for first-year students. Communicating targets international students, and motivation is reserved for advanced research students. Success in these early sections depends on filtering dense logistical variables and applying rigid conditional rules to identify the correct answer. Section 3 shifts to literary analysis, focusing on the novel The Secret Garden. Listeners track a discussion of its 20th century setting and the development of the protagonists, Mary and Colin. The dialogue tests comprehension of specific literary definitions. The tutor explicitly defines symbols as material objects that stand for abstract ideas, using the robin redbreast and roses as key examples within the text. The lecture distinguishes symbols from motifs. Recurring elements like the Garden of Eden and secrets are categorized as motifs, which ultimately support the novel's central theme of human companionship. Section 4 moves into psychological theory. The lecture's core premise argues that human behavior is governed by 6 distinct personal time zones. This diagram sorts the 6 time zones into 3 overarching categories. Individuals are classified by their dominant focus on the past, whether positive or negative, the present as either hedonists or fatalists, or the future, defined as active or fatalistic. The lecture applies this framework to real-world outcomes, noting that traditional prevention education fails for present-oriented students because the messaging relies entirely on future consequences. The latter half of the exam tests a different skill, the ability to track abstract academic classifications and map their theoretical consequences. Passing this test requires adapting your listening strategy on the fly. You must execute a complete pivot from logging concrete variables, like bus fares, to mapping abstract psychological frameworks. Accuracy across all 4 sections relies on precise categorization. This breakdown is brought to you by the IELTS Focus.